The objective for this video is to learn how to conduct a Kruskal Wallis test about whether samples come from populations with similar distributions. The Kruskal Wallis test is a nonparametric test that is used to determine whether 3 or more samples come from populations with the same distributions. The assumptions for the Kruskal Wallis test are: 1. There are at least 3 random samples. 2. The size of each sample must be at least 5. 3 brands of microwave dinners were advertised as low in sodium. Random samples of the 3 different brands show the following milligrams of sodium. At alpha equal to 0.05, is there a difference in the amount of sodium among the brands? Step 1 is to state the hypotheses. The null hypothesis is there is no difference in the amount of sodium among the brands. The alternative hypothesis is there is a difference in the amount of sodium among the brands. The claim in this case is in the alternative hypothesis. Step 2 is to find the critical value. The chi-square table will be used to find the critical value. There will be k minus 1 degrees of freedom, where k is equal to the number of groups. There are 3 groups, so there are 2 degrees of freedom. The chi-square critical value for alpha equal to 0.05 and 2 degrees of freedom is 5.991. Step 3 is to find the test value. In order to find the test value, we will begin by organizing the data in ascending order. Once that is done, we will identify the group that each data value came from. The next step is to rank each of the data values. Notice that the data value 893 occurs twice. Instead of ranking these data values as having positions 15 and 16 in the dataset, the rankings will be averaged so that each instance of the data value 893 has a ranking of 15.5. Now we will sum each of the rankings associated with brand A for a total ranking of 68. Doing the same with the rankings for brand B, we get a total ranking for brand B of 89.5. The brand C total ranking is 52.5. We will use the symbols R1, R2, and R3 for these ranking totals. We will use the uppercase N to represent the total number of samples in the entire dataset. N sub 1 will be the sample size for brand A. N sub 2 will be the sample size for brand B, and N sub 3 will be the sample size for brand C. The formula for the test value for the Kruskal Wallis test will utilize each of these values. Substituting these values into the formula, we find a test value of 10.537. Step 4 is to make the decision. Since 10.537 is greater than 5.991, we should reject the null hypothesis. Step 5 is to summarize the results. Since our decision is to reject the null hypothesis, our conclusion should be that there is enough evidence to support the claim that a difference exists in the amount of sodium among the 3 brands. In this video, we learned how to conduct a Kruskal Wallis test about whether samples come from populations with similar distributions.